Searching for the best place to live in Decatur, Alabama? Well, in this video, we're gonna be talking about how to find the perfect area for you. So you're not gonna wanna miss this. Richard Graham, I'm an agent here with Dean's List Realty in Decatur and part of a military family. I get it, the struggle moving to a new area. So that's what this channel is all about, is helping you know what it is like to live, eat, sleep, play in the Decatur and North Alabama areas. Today, we're just going to be looking at a couple of neighborhoods according to Realtor.com. Again, this is their list. This is not mine, but some of the top neighborhoods. Before we get into the neighborhoods, let's first talk about in finding that perfect area to live in, kind of 5 criteria that you're going to be looking through. So your first part of that criteria, of course, is going to be establishing what your budget is. There's no point looking in the $400,000 neighborhood if you're not comfortable with payments above, after the $300,000 mark. So I'm kind of narrowing down what's going to be perfect for you. It's got to fit budget. It's got to fit your ideal commute time. If you want a 45-minute or less commute, I know for a lot of people in Decatur, you're looking at 30-minute or less commute. But if you're going far Huntsville, you may be that 45-minute, you may be that hour. And that's going to affect which part of Decatur you want to live in or price for some of the surrounding area here, if you don't want that far of a commute. So budget, commute, if schools are important to you, then school zone is also going to be a big factor in finding and narrowing down to that area. Now, personally, I was homeschooled, so I don't have any experience with the schools here in the area. But, and I know some people, schools are important even if they don't have kids in school. They want those areas with desirable school zones to make it easier to sell and trying to get those higher list prices. But school zones can change. Disclaimer that those things can be rechanged and things like that. But I would encourage you, as far as schools are concerned, go to look up a third-party source that evaluates schools. Now, they are basing it off of third-party data, and they don't have a full insight into what the schools look like. For that, you can join local community groups. You can ask some questions about the schools, or you can just contact the school board directly and see if they'll give you the time of day, what kind of questions, if they'll answer your questions, and help sell you on the idea of their schools in this area. So after that, you're going to have to decide, do you want to be in a HOA? Do you want to be in the city, outside city limits? For today's list, we're going to be looking at, these are all going to be inside the cities and varying, whether or not they have HOA or not, but it's going to be there in the city. And so we're not looking at real property that may be what you really want. And then finally, what you're going to want to look at is the purpose of the house you're buying. So what I mean by that is, are you looking at moving into the area, buying something that you may go ahead, turn around and rent out in a few years after living there for a little bit? Are you looking at a part of the city that you can find some property in that you can flip and try to just flip it and sell it, so you're buying something distressed and then selling it for a profit? Are you looking at some place that you intend to be your forever home, or you may be there for the next 10, 15, 20, 30 years? And all of that is going to play a big factor in what the best area is going to be for you. So kind of take that all in mind for a one-on-one kind of consultation. Reach out, because we can, over a Zoom meet, we can call and kind of hash this out more in detail. But for today, we're just going to be taking this list. So first on this list, and in no particular order, we have Burning Tree. So Burning Tree is a very popular area. It is going to be kind of south of the city, almost right there bordering Priceville. And they have the Burning Tree Country Club there. So you have that golf course and all the amenities involved over there with the country club. And you're looking at, these homes are going to be, for Decatur in the Priceville area, they're going to be in the higher end, the higher range. So if you're you can find some very nice homes here in price ranges that, if you were to look over in Madison, Huntsville, you're getting a lot more here in the Decatur area as opposed to over there. It's also not a bad commute there to Huntsville. You can just hop onto the freeway and then get on over to Huntsville. It's a fairly straight shot depending on where you're working. Now, one downside of it is, if you are going to Decatur, then you're going to be crossing 67 past the Wheeler Wildlife Refuge. Now, the refuge is great to walk around in. You've got several walking trails. You have the observatory where you can see the migrating birds, which is really cool. But 67, I know for a lot of people, that road stresses them out. My wife especially, she hates that road. And what you're dealing with there is, you've got people coming off the freeways. They drive very fast through there because it's just a straight shot. and you don't have any concrete barrier between the left and right lanes, which means someone loses control of the opposite lane. That's a very, very fast head-on collision. And there have been quite a few fatalities there on that road. Now, I've driven that so many times, it does not bother me, that road, but for some people here locally, they hate that road. It stresses them out. They want to avoid it as much as possible. So, that is just a geographic fact, kind of a thing to know. Now, a big advantage here for any of these areas here in Decatur and Priceville is you're dealing with a whole lot less traffic than some of the areas that you're looking at in Huntsville and Madison. So up there, you'll be having so much traffic on those 2-lane roads where it's just one lane going each way. And they were not made for the kind of traffic and the population explosion that has happened there. So you're spending a lot of time sitting in traffic, trying to make a left turn, trying to make any turn really, and it can get quite frustrating. So nice advantage to Decatur. You may deal with some traffic on that commute home off the major roads, but then the city is not that bad. Now looking there in Priceville area, they are talking about adding on a lot of new houses into that area, and that is going to worsen the local traffic conditions. But as of right now, they have not fully started construction on all those builds yet. But it's something to be aware of as time goes on. All right, so next up on the list, we have Westmead. Now, Westmead, actually near where our real estate office is it's interesting. It's the Westmead subdivision splits. You have the right side of Beltline, and you have the east side of Beltline, you have the west side of Beltline. Now, anytime in any city that you have a major road crossing through the subdivision, it's going to change the dynamic of that. So comps over on the east side are going to be different than the comps on the west side. Advantage to the Westmead subdivision, while they don't have a golf course there or a country club, they do have good access to all your major retail shops, restaurants, grocery stores right there. All right, and then finally on this list, you have the Delano Park area and the neighborhoods around that. So, of course, you have the park right there nearby. You're also really close to the downtown area of Decatur, where you're having a lot of revitalization, a lot of small businesses there. We have our Third Fridays there and other events. So you're close there, you're close to the bridge to get off over into Huntsville. You're close to the water. And out of the list of these 3 neighborhoods that we've talked about, these areas, this one is going to be the most affordable, where you're looking at a median price point about $175,000 for the area, average prices of around $211,000. And it varies. I mean, going back 12 months, we're looking at the low end being like $29,000. So these are foreclosures or properties that need a lot of work, kind of looking more towards your investment kind of properties there that are going to take a lot of work to get them up. And then on your high end, you're looking at $800,000. So you've got quite a bit in that area. And I'm looking within a mile of that Delano Park spot right there. You're bumping into the Old Albany Historic District as well, which that may be an area that you'd be interested in, is owning a piece of Decatur history or just walking the area. It's a very pretty area to be able to walk, especially when they have it all decorated during the holiday season. So this is that rounds off Realtor.com's list of some of the top 3 areas in Decatur. Again, not my list, it's Realtor.com's, just going through it. And if you are looking to if you want more details and try and find the area that would be best for you, again, that's why we started this video with those criteria to try and find, okay, what spots are going to match what it is you're looking for in commutes, in schools if applicable, in budgets, in what you're trying to do with this home long term, and all of those details that we discussed at the start. I'd love the opportunity to, have a one-on-one conversation with you, and just go ahead, give me a call, text, email. You can find my information in the description below. And be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss another episode. Until next time, you all take care. Bye. Be sure to